Hey guys, this is Brandon White from Rochester Sport Fishing, and today I'm going to do the April unboxing of Lucky Tackle Box. This is the Walleye edition, so let's get right to it. We have our card here, which first brings us to the Bagley Deep Diving Shad, valued at $9.99. This is it right here. It is, let's see, it says a 1/3 ounce, dives 12 to 14 feet. If I had to guess just by looking at it, it's about 3.5 inches. Chartreuse back, obviously white bottom there with the black freckles in there. Bagley's an awesome lure. They have a nice wide wobbling action and they're made of balsa, so it gives you a nice selection in your tackle box of balsa or plastic baits. This is going to be great when used either late spring, early summer, either during the day on drop-offs or right before, around dusk, right before it gets dark. Same thing on drop-offs as the walleyes are moving up. So this is going to be a great bait. Again, so it's a little bit early for this. I wouldn't be using this bait until about the end of May, early June, at least in New York. Around that time, I think the temperature is going to be, typically it's around 62 to 65 degrees, so if that helps you in your area. If you're in any part of the East Coast, Midwest, anything like that, you guys are probably already that warm. I was just fishing this morning. We're only at 42 degrees in our bodies of water, so you might have a little bit of a heads up on us. So that is why this bait is going to be good. Like I said, around that last week in May, first week in June, most likely, obviously depending on the weather. But so early summer, good for that one. Next one, we have the Sebile Swingtail Minnow. Sebile, another great company, priced at $7. This is a perch style bait in color. 3¼ inches, obviously another great size. Between 3 and 3.5 inches is great for spring. Floating, and it dives 3 to 5 feet. This is going to be great for actually, right now for us, our season opens the first Saturday in May. One of the main baits you're going to want to use during that springtime for walleye is a smaller sized jerk bait, but you can also use this, even though this is probably not considered a jerk bait. It will work just fine. Any of the smaller minnow style is best for spring. You're trying to match the hatch. Typically the forage isn't going to be that large yet, so you're going to want to stay a little bit smaller. It's got the broken back, so it's going to have that extra action. It's going to have that injured minnow look. It's in a great color. Perch, obviously. It's got some nice rattles in it. And it's floating, which is my favorite because you get a consistent action, and with floating, they typically troll better than suspending baits troll. Some baits have had issues with if they are floating additions. This is a 1/2 ounce, so it's going to be easy to cast. It's got some weight to it, and it says it's got a external weighting system, which is probably means that it's good for casting because the weight distribution shifts as you're casting it. So another great bait for this month. So far, I'm really happy with these. Next, we have the Apex Weight Forward Walleye Spinnerbait, valued at $5.50. This is what this guy looks like. Flip it upside down for you. Basically, what this is you tie on in the front. You have a kind of a weighted keel head, a spinner, some beads, and then the hook at the end. I've never actually used these, but I've heard things about them. I've never actually seen any videos on them either. The only thing I don't like is down in the bottom, even though it says Apex Fishing, there's a Matsuo sign there. I'm not a huge fan of Matsuo. I've had issues with their baits in the past, and their customer service is not that great. So I'll definitely give it a try now that I have one. I am not too familiar with these, so I can't give you too much info on them, but everything that I know says that you use these when you'd be using any type of bottom bouncing or spinner rigs. Basically, instead of using a bottom bouncer, you're just going to troll this just as it is, and you're going to have to just pick a speed that's going to relate to the diving depth of this. Next, we have the Creme Company Walleye Rig. Doesn't really say too much about it. Valued at $5.50. This is basically just your regular spinner Lindy rig. It's got a gold blade, 5 red beads, and a single small hook at the end. This you're only going to be able to use with like probably a small minnow. I first hadn't heard of Creme, but then I saw them at Walmart, and they're kind of like just their dollar bin. So I mean, they have this listed at $5.50. I don't know if this really costs $5.50 if you were to go in the store to purchase it. But again, this is woodwork, whether it's this company or you make your own or whether you buy one. These are going to be great in spring with just a single minnow on the back being trolled slow. Probably during the day, again, first thing in the morning, evening, this will probably pretty much work all day long. You're going to have to use this on either a bottom bouncer or with a Lindy sinker. Again, it doesn't say what pound test or what style this is, so I don't know if this is mono or fluoro, and I have no idea what the pound test is. I wish they would say that on there, but again, from what I've heard or seen about this company, they're on the lower end, so they're probably not going to have that much detail in their baits. All it says, it's a 48-inch leader on a walleye harness, so just real basic, nothing special there, but it'll work, it'll get the job done. Next we have Mustad hooks, slow death rig, valued at $4.99. I would much rather have this. So now we have, what's cool about this is you actually give you 3 of them. So they're giving you a 3-pack of Mustad Ultra Points, size 2, and they're each individually wrapped, and each one comes with a barrel swivel, it comes with the leader, and has a 1 single red bead, and then the size 2 hook with the crimp in them to get the slow death action. It tells you right on the back, it says it's a 10-pound leader. It doesn't tell me if it's mono or fluoro, but it does suggest that you use 4 to 6 feet. It actually doesn't tell me what size the leader is on here. But again, this is very basic. This is another good spring rig when you're just trying to keep your real simple tactics. This is going to be a daytime presentation, but the nice thing about the slow death is you can use anything on them. Obviously, you typically use a worm on them, and you're going to need to either put some weight on this or you can troll form shell. You can troll for walleyes with a slow death rig in shallow water in the spring because they will be coming up to feed once the season opens to try to replenish their energy from spawning. So you can use this in a shallow, or you can put like I said, a bottom bouncer or a Lindy sinker on there, and you can troll it, in deeper water. So that's another good bait there. Last, we have the Mismo Bait Company's 5-inch diamond darters, valued at $3.29. So these are a plastic. There is 6 total in there. They're actually like a fluke style. Doesn't actually say that. I mean, the package is pretty plain. There's really absolutely nothing on here. Doesn't really tell me anything about the bait. If I didn't have this card, I wouldn't even know that they were 5 inches from at least the package. Obviously, you're looking at it, I could measure it myself. But they're a fluke style, and they have the hollowed out belly there, so you can stick your hook right in there. These will work too. And again, whether any plastics for me, unless it changes the length of the tail considerably. I like having a bigger bait than a smaller bait because you can always cut it down, and you can always use it for more options, whether you're using it as a trail or whether you're fully using the bait itself. But again, if you're going to trim it down, typically in the spring you're matching the hatch, the baits are smaller, so you're going to want smaller baits. So I would probably trim that down to like 3.5 inches or 4 inches, depending on what works best by putting a hook in it. So just to finish off, we have just a Baitmate fish attractant to finish off the box here. So that is the Lucky Tackle box for April, Walleye Edition. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Hopefully I give you guys a little bit of insight. I'll try to use these baits throughout the year. And if I'm not using these baits specifically, I'm using maybe a different company, but I'll show you how to use them, when I use them, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to try to continually update you guys on that. Our season opens the first Saturday in May. By law, it's technically illegal in our state, at least, to fish to target walleyes before then. So we typically try to stay away and from trying to catch them. And actually, if you post a picture, you can get a $250 fine. I don't know if that will really happen. I've heard that it has happened, but I don't know to what extent the DEC or the DNR really goes out and tries to find stuff like that. So I really try to stay away from fishing for walleyes until the season is actually open. I may do like a scouting mission ahead of time, but it's going to be a really quick and really quick release, no videoing, no pictures, anything like that, just to try to find them so I know where to go on opening day. Again, I'll answer any questions you guys got. Like I said, right now it is the 16th of April, and this morning the water temperature was 42 degrees. So we obviously have a little bit to go for before the temperature really gets to prime time for walleyes, or when it's going to be easier to catch them. And again, I'll try to keep you guys updated with what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And thanks for watching. Good fishing. God bless.